At just 19 years old, a new sultan ascends the Ottoman throne. Mehmed II is driven by a singular burning vision. He aims to achieve what his ancestors could not, the conquest of the legendary impenetrable city of Constantinople. The strategic key lies here, in the narrow waters of the Bosphorus, a vital gateway between the east and the west. With unprecedented speed, the fortress of Rumeli Hisar rises, cutting off the city's lifeline and securing the strait for the Ottoman navy. Every stone placed is a step closer to the final struggle. The pace of construction signals the Sultan's relentless ambition. Deep in a dim foundry, engineering genius meets strategic need. The European master, Orban, designs a weapon unlike any seen before. Molten bronze glows with an intense orange light, as the Shahi cannons are cast giants capable of shattering walls that stood for centuries. These massive barrels are the ultimate tools of war, the thunder that will announce the end of an ancient empire. The plans are drawn, the movements are set. In a dark room, every detail is calculated for the inevitable siege. April 1453, 55 days that will change history forever. The city awaits its fate as the sun sets on Era.
In 1453, the legendary city of Constantinople stood as the final bastion of the Roman world, facing its ultimate and most terrifying challenge. Inside the walls, Emperor Constantine V Palaiologos commanded a diverse defense of Byzantine Greeks, alongside brave Genoese and Venetian contingents. The odds were staggering. Modern estimates suggest fewer than 8,000 defenders stood against an Ottoman army, numbering in the many tens of thousands. These men were spread thin across miles of ancient fortifications, focusing their desperate efforts on the critical and vulnerable Mesotaikian sector. To protect the city's northern flank, a massive iron chain was stretched across the mouth of the Golden Horn, blocking any naval assault. The Ottoman fleet remained trapped outside the harbor, unable to force the chain, while the defenders found a moment of fleeting hope. Yet the Sultan was not deterred. An unprecedented engineering feat was about to change the course of history and the fate of empires. As darkness fell over the hills, a secret plan was set in motion that would bypass the chain and silence the city's bells forever.
In the spring of 1453, the fate of an empire hung in the balance before the mighty walls of Constantinople. To bypass the Golden Horn's chain, ships were dragged overland on greased rollers behind the hills of Galata. One by one, the vessels were refloated inside the harbor, stunning the city's defenders. The defenders now had a second front at God, and no reserve left to cover it. Through the month of May, the heavy bombardment continued, and repairs continued with it, under constant fire. Sultan Mehmed II oversaw the preparations, determined to see the city fall. In the early hours of May 29th, Mehmed committed his forces in successive waves. The assault focused on the damaged Mesotaikian sector, where the walls had finally crumbled. Giustiniani was gravely wounded and carried from the wall, leaving the gate vulnerable. The defense broke, the final assault succeeded, and a new era in history began. The dust of conquest settles as a new era dawns upon the Golden Horn. Hagia Sophia, once the crown of Byzantium, was converted into a majestic mosque. Its domes now reach for the heavens under a new light, but the transformation did not stop at these sacred walls. A grand palace was built atop the ancient hills, and a bustling market rose to center the world's trade. Vast mosque complexes emerged, becoming the heart of the city where schools, kitchens, and hospitals served all people. Confirming the Genoese of Galata in their trade, the city began to breathe anew under a different administration. Istanbul was reborn, a vibrant tapestry of faith and power where the East and West finally met. And with this epic transformation, a new title was claimed, the eternal capital of a rising empire. 1453 was a turning point where history's flow changed forever. Fatih Sultan Mehmed, by conquering Istanbul, did not merely take a city. He assumed a universal imperial legacy, bridging East and West, crowned with the title Kaiser-i-Rum, the Caesar of the Romans. To understand how this empire grew, we must look at the maps where Rome and Istanbul are linked by golden lines of power. Across the Balkans and Anatolia, Ottoman banners rose with intricate silk textures, marking strategic fortresses in a topographically detailed landscape. Trade routes resembling silk threads and miniature naval fleets expanded the empire's reach, turning the Mediterranean into a center of global commerce. The ink details on ancient parchment and imperial seals tell the story of a geographic unity, where two great civilizations embraced. As we return to the scorched maps of 1450, the light of history illuminates the roots of a world-spanning empire. In the year 1453, a 1,000-year-old empire reached its end, and a new glory was born. The legendary walls, which had withstood countless sieges, finally bowed to a new master. Constantinople did not just fall, it was reborn as the heart of a new world order. By 1481, the map of the world had been redrawn in the vibrant red of Ottoman victory. An Ottoman court miniature, reflecting this massive scale, reveals an era of administrative brilliance and cultural triumph. These vibrant pigments captured the beginning of a golden age, and this was only the beginning. A massive historical transformation that secured the destiny of the Mediterranean for centuries to come, marking a victory that changed history forever. The bridge between worlds was no longer something the Ottomans stood beside. It was their capital, Istanbul, a beacon of power where East meets West. Istanbul became the beating heart of a burgeoning superpower. What follows is the century in which that state becomes something else again, evolving into a truly global empire. Selim the Grim marched into the Arab lands, securing the holy cities and expanding the empire's reach southward. Then came Suleiman, whose shadow loomed large at the gates of Vienna, challenging the very core of Europe. From the Mediterranean to the Indian Ocean, their fleets dominated the seas, rewriting the rules of trade and war. An empire expanding across 3 continents, it united diverse cultures and changed the course of global history. This was the Golden Age, a time when the Ottoman legacy was etched forever into the stones of time. Beyond the horizon of time, where empires converge and the seas whisper ancient secrets, a legendary city rises from the mist. This is Istanbul, the bridge between 2 worlds, where the golden light of history has witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations. Step back into an age of unparalleled splendor, witness the echoes of greatness through trade routes that connected continents and cultures. From the vibrant stalls of the Grand Bazaar to the majestic ports, commerce was the heartbeat of a global superpower. Look upward to architectural marvels that touch the very heavens, where domes and minarets define the skyline of eternity. Within these grand walls, administrative systems were forged, reshaping the landscape of early modern history and law. The legacy of the Ottomans is not just carved in cold stone. It is woven into the very soul of this vibrant, eternal city. Every narrow street corner, every mosaic, and every prayer tells a story of a glory that refuses to fade away. And now, our journey leads us to the final chapter of this historic era, as we embrace the enduring spirit of the Ottoman legacy. This was only the beginning of a grand historical journey that transformed the world stage forever. Subscribe to our channel for the next chapter.